My folks skipped my baby shower because they were too busy celebrating my sister's big promotion. Your sister actually gives us something to be proud of, Mom said with a smug little smirk. I just looked at her and quietly muttered, "You're going to regret saying that." They made a choice. Instead of coming to the event I poured my heart into planning, they went to cheer on Madison again. It wasn't just a scheduling conflict. It was personal. I tried to hold it together, but it stung. This was supposed to be my day. I was 30, married to Ryan, and pregnant with our first child, a little girl. I'd been organizing this shower for weeks. It wasn't just a party. It symbolized a new chapter. A moment that finally was supposed to be about me. Then came the call from Mom. She's always busy with work or something, but this time she didn't even try to soften the blow. She called the day before the shower to let me know they might not make it. Not because of an emergency, because Madison just got promoted. Big time. Regional manager at her company. In their eyes, she may as well have become royalty. At first, I tried to be happy for her. She had worked hard and I didn't want to be petty. But as the conversation went on, it became painfully clear that my mom didn't think my baby shower mattered. "Emily, sweetheart," she said, "this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for Madison. It's huge." Then she dropped the line that shattered me. "Your sister actually makes us proud." I tried not to let it show. My voice shook, but I managed to say, "I get it, Mom. It's okay." Except it wasn't. Not even close. After I hung up, something broke in me. The one day I'd been counting down to suddenly felt overshadowed. I looked down at my belly, this tiny life growing inside me, and felt a mix of heartbreak and anger. Ryan walked into the room and immediately sensed something was wrong. "What's going on, babe?" he asked gently. I told him everything. How my parents chose Madison again. How it's always been that way. How I felt like a second-class daughter for as long as I can remember. He didn't try to fix it. He just listened, rubbed my back, and said quietly, "Hey, we'll make it beautiful. You deserve that." I wanted to believe him. And the shower? It actually turned out lovely. The guests were warm, the gifts thoughtful, the love real. But every time I glanced at my phone and saw photos from Madison's party, something twisted inside me. There they were, my parents beaming beside her. Meanwhile, I felt completely forgotten. Like I didn't even exist. And then everything blew up. That same night, as I was curled up on the couch flipping through baby books, I got a notification. At first, I assumed it was spam. But then I saw the screen and my heart dropped. $2,500 attempted withdrawal. I froze. That number wasn't random. And when I checked the account trying to access my funds, my blood went cold. It was Madison's name. I was stunned. After everything being overlooked, dismissed, made to feel like a shadow, now she was going after my money? That was the last straw. I blocked her from everything. Cut her off financially. But walking away didn't feel like enough. Not this time. I took screenshots, receipts, timestamps, account info. And I posted them. Not out of spite. Out of survival. After all she'd done to make me feel like second best, it was time for the truth to come out. What happened next? Total chaos in the family. And honestly, I don't regret putting it all out there. Right now, I'm still trying to make sense of the mess and maybe hear from others who've been through something similar. But to explain how we got here, I need to back up. Because the truth is, this didn't start with one party or one promotion. It started with one simple fact. I've never been the favorite. My little sister Madison? She's always been the star of the show. I care about her, I really do, but growing up in her shadow wasn't easy. It's not like my parents ever meant to make me feel less than. But it was always obvious where their emotional investment went. Madison got the spotlight, always. From elementary school science fair ribbons to graduating college with top honors, she checked every box. And me? I was in the background. Picking up the slack. Helping Mom. Supporting Madison. Never getting credit. That's the thing about being the quiet one, you become easy to overlook. But this baby, this shower, this chapter, it was finally supposed to be about me. Until it wasn't. 2. I was curled up on the couch, flipping through books about newborns and what to expect, when my phone buzzed beside me. At first, I barely looked at it, just figured it was another update or spam notification. But then I saw the screen. My heart dropped. $2,500 attempted withdrawal. My whole body froze. That number was too specific, too real. I didn't recognize the name on the account trying to access my funds, but something about it made me look deeper. And then I saw it. The account tied to the transaction? Madison. My hands started shaking. This wasn't a glitch or a hacker. It wasn't some identity thief from across the world. No, it was my own sister. After everything I'd already swallowed over the years, the favoritism, the constant comparison, the emotional whiplash, now she was trying to take my money? I didn't hesitate. I blocked her instantly. Then I called the bank. They promised to investigate, but I couldn't just sit and wait. I took screenshots of everything: account details, timestamps, transaction logs. My heart was pounding, but my mind was crystal clear. I wasn't letting her get away with this. Not this time. I posted it. All of it. Online. Every receipt. Not to ruin her, not to get revenge, but to stop pretending. For so long I'd been silent. I'd let Madison take the spotlight, the praise, the attention. But this crossed a line I couldn't ignore. The reaction came fast. Comments poured in, some from people I barely knew. Some were shocked. Others were angry. Her promotion party photos were still up, all smiling faces and champagne flutes. And now this? People didn't want to believe it. At first, they assumed it was a scam. But when the bank confirmed the attempted withdrawal and linked it back to Madison, the truth became impossible to deny. Then my phone rang the next morning. It was my parents. And they were furious. "You've ruined her," my mother screamed through the phone. Her voice was filled with venom. "How could you do this to your sister? She's worked so hard." "How could I?" I snapped back, my voice trembling. "How could I not, Mom? She tried to steal from me. She's taken the spotlight our whole lives, why not my money too, right?" "You're going to regret this, Emily," she hissed. "You'll lose your family over this." I didn't respond. I just ended the call. Everything unraveled quickly after that. Madison's company launched an internal investigation. Her shiny new promotion? Gone in a flash. The image my family had built, the perfect daughter, the golden girl, began to crack. People from her job reached out to me. Some were supportive. Others admitted they weren't surprised. Apparently, this wasn't the first time her ambition had crossed the line. Madison messaged me too. But her apologies rang hollow. "It was a mistake. A misunderstanding. I didn't mean to hurt you." She never owned it. Never took responsibility. Instead, she blamed me for ruining her life. For exposing her. For destroying her future. But the truth? She destroyed it all on her own. I just stopped covering for her. Ryan and I decided to unplug. We turned inward, focused on the baby, on building a life rooted in honesty, love, and real connection. That became our world, just us and our little girl on the way. And honestly, that was enough for me. I still don't fully understand what pushed Madison to do it. Was she always capable of something like this? Or did the pressure to be perfect finally crack her? I may never know. But what I do know is this: I don't regret telling the truth. For years I made myself smaller so she could shine. But this time I chose me. The aftermath was messy, painful, but also freeing. The days after the fallout felt like walking through fog. I tried to focus on what mattered: Ryan, the baby, the new beginning in front of us. But the weight lingered like a storm cloud overhead. My parents didn't call for several days. I didn't know if they were giving me space or just too angry to speak to me. Eventually, Mom did call again. Her voice was different, lower, more measured. Not angry this time. But not warm either. "Emily," she began slowly, like the words were fragile, "this isn't just about what you did. It's about how deeply you've hurt your sister." I held my breath. I'd been expecting this conversation. My mom had always defended Madison. That wasn't new. But a part of me, despite everything, still hoped this time would be different. "Mom," I said, keeping my voice calm, "what exactly do you want me to say? Do you want me to apologize for telling the truth? Because that's what this is really about. I didn't create this mess. Madison did. She made her choices. I just stopped protecting her from the consequences." There was a long pause. I could hear her breathing, steady, controlled, like she was choosing her next words carefully. "I'm not asking for an apology," she finally said. "But I do want you to think about what this has done to our family." Madison shattered. "And you're just letting everything fall apart." I didn't answer. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because, for once, I wanted her to sit with the silence. 3. I felt a tightness building in my chest. In some ways, my mom wasn't wrong, Madison was crushed, and my parents were furious. But that didn't mean I was going to back down or undo what I'd done. I couldn't keep pretending Madison's actions didn't have real consequences. "Mom," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "do you have any idea how many years I've spent trying to be enough? How many times I've been pushed aside so Madison could shine. Do you know what it's like to always come second, even when I didn't deserve to? The line went quiet. Then a soft sigh. I never wanted you to feel like that, she said. But Madison, she's always had a way of getting what she wants. She's needed more support than you, that's all. A bitter laugh slipped from me before I could stop it. So what? I'm just supposed to step aside while she takes whatever she wants even when it's not hers. More silence. And in that pause I understood something painful and clear: we weren't going to reach any kind of real understanding. She wasn't ready to shift her view. And honestly, neither was I. That didn't make it hurt any less. My parents had always favored Madison. That wasn't news. But choosing her again, even after she tried to steal from me, that pain cut deeper than I expected. In the days that followed, I found myself mourning something I hadn't fully realized I was holding on to. The idea of the family I had always hoped for. That dream, the version where I was seen, valued, included, was slipping away fast. I threw myself into time with Ryan. He was my anchor, my constant. Not once did he question my decision to speak up. Not once did he try to minimize what happened. He'd seen it all, the way my parents lifted Madison up while I stood in the background. He knew how much I'd craved their approval, even when it chipped away at me. Through every breakdown, every rant, every spiral of doubt, Ryan never made me feel weak or foolish. He just listened. And reminded me, gently but firmly, that standing up for myself didn't make me cruel. It made me brave. Still, none of this was easy. A week passed. Then another. My parents' silence hardened into a wall I didn't know how to climb. I thought about calling them, trying to find some kind of middle ground, but I didn't know if I was ready. Or if they even wanted that. Then out of nowhere I got a message. From Madison. The first contact since everything blew up. Just 5 words: we need to talk. I stared at the screen, frozen. Part of me wanted to delete it on sight. But another part, smaller, quieter, but still there, hoped there was something worth saving. I typed back, "What's there to talk about?" Her reply came almost instantly. "I'm sorry, Emily. I never should have tried to take your money. It was wrong and I know I messed up. But I need you to know I didn't do it to hurt you. I just thought it was the only way." As I read her words, that familiar weight in my chest returned. Yes, she was apologizing. But something felt off. Like she was saying what she thought I wanted to hear, not what she truly meant. I answered slowly, carefully. "I don't know if I'll ever fully understand why you did what you did. But this isn't about you anymore. I can't keep being the one who gets pushed aside. I won't let you take from me just because you think you deserve it more." There was a long pause. I could almost feel the silence pressing through the screen. Then she replied, "I didn't mean to hurt you. I know I've been selfish. But can't we fix this? I don't want things to be like this between us. You're my sister. I've always loved you." I read her message over and over. The words were kind. They sounded right. But deep down, something still didn't sit right. Because this wasn't just about money. It was about years of being overlooked. Dismissed. Treated like a placeholder in my own family. Could any apology ever really erase that? I took a slow breath and wrote back, "I don't know yet. I need time to figure it out. This isn't something I can just move on from." Her next reply came fast. "I understand. I'm sorry for everything." And that was it. The last I heard from Madison, at least for a while. Whether her apology came from genuine regret or desperation, I couldn't say. But one thing was certain. Something in me had shifted. I was done being the one left behind. No more shrinking. No more settling for second best. As the weeks passed and my due date drew closer, Ryan and I focused on what truly mattered, our little girl. We were nesting, buying last-minute baby gear, setting up the nursery, putting final touches on a space filled with warmth and intention. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was building something of my own. Something real. Something whole. A family where I didn't have to fight for a place. I couldn't help but feel a knot of uncertainty forming in my chest. The future felt shaky. My family was a mess, and I had no idea how or even if things would ever go back to normal. Would Madison ever genuinely change? Could my parents ever really see me for who I am? One quiet night, I lay in bed with my hands resting on my belly when I felt Grace kick gently inside me, and that's when it clicked. Whatever happened from here on out, my focus had to be her. I needed to be strong, not just for myself, but for the little girl growing inside me. Even if it meant walking away from the family I'd spent my whole life trying to belong to. She deserved a mother who respected herself, who wouldn't settle for being treated as anything less than worthy. The next morning, my phone lit up again. A message from my mom. "We need to talk, Emily. Please. I want to make things right." I stared at the screen, unsure how to feel. The words were familiar. She'd reached out before. More than once. And each time, I'd ignored her. I hadn't been ready. And maybe I still wasn't. But something in me shifted. Maybe it was the weight of the past few weeks catching up to me. Or maybe it was Grace's arrival looming close and I didn't want to carry this pain into motherhood. Or maybe I just needed clarity. To know if there was still something left to fix or if it was finally time to let go. I sat with the message for a long time. Then finally I tapped call. She answered on the second ring but didn't speak. I could hear her holding her breath. "Mom?" I said gently. "What's going on?" "I just want to talk," she said, her voice small and shaky. "I know I've made mistakes. We all have. But I don't want this to be how we end things." Her voice cracked. For the first time in what felt like forever, I heard something real in it, raw emotion. Vulnerability she usually kept buried. Still, I couldn't drop my guard that easily. I'd heard apologies before. Ones that faded fast. "I don't know if I can just forget everything that's happened," I said, keeping my tone even. "This isn't just about one missed event. It's years, Mom. Years of being sidelined. Years of watching you choose Madison over me." She rushed to respond, her voice almost desperate. "I never meant for you to feel that way. She's always needed more attention. She's always been demanding. And yes, I know I put her first more times than I should have. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. I know you love me," I said. "But this isn't only about love. It's about respect. About finally feeling like I matter." I paused, letting my words sink in. After what Madison did, after she tried to take my money, I can't pretend it didn't happen. This isn't about a title or a party. It's about how she treats me. And it's about what you've allowed all these years. There was a long silence. When she finally spoke, her voice was lower. Grounded. Real. "You're right, Emily. I failed you. I let things happen that never should have. And I am so sorry. I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to think you don't matter to me because you do. You always have. I'll do anything to prove that to you." I didn't respond right away. I needed time. Her words felt different this time, less defensive, more sincere. But sincerity in the moment doesn't always equal real change. Could I trust it? "I'm not sure I can believe all of that just yet," I said carefully. "But I'm open to seeing where this goes. I'll listen. But this has to happen on my terms. I'm not sweeping anything under the rug." She didn't argue. I could hear her trying to keep her composure. "I understand. I'll follow your lead." After that call, I gave myself time. I needed to sift through all of it, Madison's betrayal, my parents' role in enabling her, the emotional cost of it all. But one thing had never been clearer. I was done letting anyone else define my worth. Whether it was Madison, my parents, or anyone else, I wasn't going back to being an afterthought. Not now. Not ever again. With Ryan and Grace by my side, I was building something new. Something honest. Something safe. A few days later, another message came through. This time from Madison. But it wasn't an apology. It was desperation. "Emily, please. I need you to understand. I messed up. I don't want to lose you. 5. Her message came through exactly as I expected. "I know I did something terrible, but can't we just move past it? You're my sister and I love you. I never wanted to hurt you." As I read her words, a familiar chill settled in my chest. There it was again, that subtle attempt to soften what she did, to downplay it, to make it seem like I was overreacting. For years I'd let things slide. I stayed quiet while she took what she wanted, while I was pushed aside, ignored, made to feel invisible. But not this time. This time, I wasn't letting her twist it around until I doubted my own memory, my own pain. Not again. I sat with her message for a while, weighing every word I wanted to send back. But deep down, I already knew what needed to be said. "I'm done, Madison," I wrote. "You've crossed too many lines, and this was the last one. You don't get to rewrite what happened. You don't get to be the victim here. You tried to take something from me that never belonged to you. And I won't let you keep doing it. I won't forget it, and I won't keep playing a role in your toxic cycle. This is where I draw the line. I'm cutting you out completely." My finger hovered for just a second. Then I hit send. My hand trembled, but not my resolve. I wasn't afraid. I was just finished. I braced for her reply. I expected the guilt tripping, the manipulation, the usual emotional leverage. And right on cue, her response came fast. You're making a huge mistake, Emily. You'll regret this. I'm your sister, you're going to need me someday. I stared at the screen and shook my head. No, I wasn't making a mistake. For the first time in my life, I was choosing me. I wasn't shrinking anymore. Not for her. Not for anyone. The days passed. Madison didn't reach out again. My parents stayed silent too. And to my surprise, I was okay. Because for the first time, I didn't need their approval to feel whole. I had Ryan. I had Grace growing inside me. And most importantly, I had my own self-worth, something I'd fought hard to reclaim. Then just a few days before my due date, my phone rang. It was my mom. But this time, her voice didn't carry its usual sharpness. She sounded calm. Almost soft. Emily, she began gently, I know we've been through a lot. And I get it if you don't want to talk to me right now. But I just need you to hear this. I'm proud of you. She paused like she was holding back emotion. I always have been. Her words caught me off guard. It wasn't the grand apology I used to dream about. But it was something. Something real. A shift. Maybe just the first small crack in the wall that had stood between us for so long. Thank you, I said quietly. But I need you to understand. I've spent my whole life trying to make everyone else happy. I'm done with that. I'm not putting myself last anymore. She didn't argue. I understand, she said, her voice a little shaky. And I'm sorry, Emily. I was wrong. You should have always felt like you were enough. It wasn't some dramatic reconciliation. No sweeping cinematic moment. But it was honest. And that mattered more than anything. The following weeks moved in a blur, doctor's appointments, hospital bags, sleepless nights. Everything around me was shifting. And then Grace arrived. The moment I held her in my arms, I knew. This little girl would never have to fight to feel loved. She wouldn't grow up wondering if she mattered. She didn't need to earn it. She was enough the moment she arrived. I never reached out to Madison again. I didn't need to. I had a new family now. A family built not on expectations, but on truth, respect, and love. The kind that lifts you up, not tears you down. As for my parents, things remain complicated. Maybe they always would. But I finally understood something I wished I'd known years ago. Real love doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't ask you to shrink to be accepted. It doesn't make you prove yourself just to be seen. And I wasn't waiting for their validation anymore. I was living for me. And for Grace. And that was more than enough.